we're at retraining, which costs money, by the way,
Yeah.
and then we're at abolishing completely.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a realistic expectation?
Of course not.
It doesn't mean take away money from the police.
Well, they did take money away from the police in many cities, including LA.
That's what you're saying. That's not what I'm thinking happened. So,
What's going on, everyone? James Klug here. With violent crime skyrocketing, was defunding the police a bad idea? Today we're in Los Angeles and we're going to find out. Let's go talk to some people. Was defunding the police a bad idea?
No, because defunding the police was not a bad idea because it shone a spotlight on the injustices and made others, us and them themselves, aware of what needed to change. Because sometimes people will not make a change unless something is being threatened to be taken away from them. So I don't think it was a bad idea.
Great question. Depending on who you're asking and who knows the facts and who doesn't. So
Tell us the facts.
the facts are we don't know them.
I feel like the movement wasn't really a bad idea, but I do agree with adding an element to the police to add like a psychological level to a different type of segment or like a segue to help more people.
Would that require money?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. And why do you think so?
I think the crime has gotten worse. People are not going to jail. They're not like they're getting like no bail. So they're not learning from like what they do wrong.
We need to see the paperwork in defunding the police and understand what they're defunding and who they're giving it to when they defund.
defunding the police, that just means retraining. It doesn't mean take away money from the police.
Well, they did take money away from the police in many cities, including LA.
That's what you're saying. That's not what I'm thinking happened. So.
The fact that it created a spotlight was more important than anything else. Is that correct? Am I getting this right?
Yes.
LAPD, they were just approved refunding of $213 million after being defunded $150. Would you be okay with that? Because the spotlight was still.
Well, I personally am not from
shined.
LA. I'm from Cincinnati, but I know that
I don't have stats on that.
But I come here from Nashville. But I think that defunding across the board people are getting paid for they ain't even doing.
In Los Angeles,
Yeah.
armed robberies have increased by over 21%. We're at a 15-year high in homicides, 14-year high of shootings. And actually, they just approved increasing the LAPD's budget by $213 million after they defunded the LAPD by $150 million in 2020. So obviously, someone along the lines realized maybe having more money or not taking away money from the LAPD was a good idea. So you definitely agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I think that they shouldn't have defunded them. I think we need more police on the streets.
And you live in LA?
Yeah, I live in Hollywood. I do think that it's a good idea to get them on the streets and give them more money. So, they can do their job. That's what we need them for.
They just refunded $213 million because of the spike in homicides and shootings. Do you think that's a good idea or no?
I do not think that's a good idea.
So you say
Well,
good.
I didn't
you
know
say
money was taken away. Yeah, keep the money to train the police and to keep us safe. Yeah.
And you were unaware. Just to clarify, you were unaware that they
Yeah.
did take money.
I was unaware. I just moved down here.
Do you think it was a good idea to add more funding to the LAPD or no?
That's a real tough, difficult. I would
don't
have to
think
know
so?
more.
The whole system is just it's just set up against. I'm gonna speak for my people. It's just so set up against black people that it's just, if you're part of the system, you're part of the problem, and the system is the problem. So if there's no system, then there's no problem.
So by that same logic, you would advocate for getting rid of the police department, correct?
I would, yeah.
You think that would really help though?
Yeah, I would. Well, I mean,
What do you do when people are what do you do when people are shooting people or homicides?
We so deep into it now. It is what it is. I feel like at this point.
We have a lot of people out here that need the help versus just packing up a bunch of gear for maybe they can recycle some of their stuff, learn how to recycle, reuse, instead of giving it to other people, give it to us, you know what I mean? Instead of spreading so much money where the crime might be committed, let's spread the money so the crime won't be committed.
Allocating. Do we need more community resources, right?
Yes.
And I think those are all valid questions. And for me, I think the question is just really breaks it down to, do we take away money from public safety to put money into public resources.
But who are they? Are they saving people, or are they part of the problem? Are they creating more of the problem?
Officers?
Yes.
If there is a reason for the money and the fund, it's okay, but they need to be updated. The helicopters up there is a cost for it. 2-3 more helicopters. I mean, crimes are more now. 2 days ago, I was in Beverly Hills, just smashed a jewelry shop.
So we're at retraining, which costs money, by the way, and we're at abolishing completely.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a realistic expectation?
Of course not. But that's what I believe in.
So if someone kicked down your door, robbing your house, you would just call
I wouldn't call
nobody.
anybody.
You would fight them.
I wouldn't call anybody.
When it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement, obviously a lot of folks in LA supported Black Lives Matter. A big part of the Black Lives Matter movement was defunding the police.
Right.
That was a big message. That was, if not the primary message of the Black Lives Matter movement, or one of them at least.
Right.
Did you support the Black Lives Matter movement?
I do support the Black Lives Matter movement, but I also agree on, how can I say this? I think that people, if you do something wrong, you should go to jail, if that's what it's for. I support it to where as though
So you support law and order.
Right. I support both. So I do support Black Lives Matter, but I don't also believe in everything that they believe in, because I do think some of it is just ridiculous.
We talked to someone that was saying abolish the police department. How do you think that would affect the community?
Greatly. What are we gonna do for our safety, right?
Scream?
Right?
Was defunding the police a bad idea?
Yes.
You don't know?
I said I don't care.
You don't
I'm
care?
a graffiti artist, so I'd be out here live, you know what I mean?
For sure. Is that an illegal activity?
Yes.
So you think it was a bad idea?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Same.
You agree with
Common sense, yeah. If you're going to defund the police, it's going to be crime. People are not going to be afraid to do their crime. They ain't going to have to do no time.
You don't really care? Just
don't
as long
care.
as you can graffiti
As
stuff?
long as I could, yeah, as long as I could do illegal.
What's going on, Julio? How you doing?
Oh, I'm just
Good to see you, man.
vibing and surviving.
Good to see you, man.
Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles, we have Julio Rosas in Los Angeles. Julio, was defunding the police a bad idea? Yes or no? Tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty idea.
For one instance, yes, it's bad, because for the most part, I stand with both sides of the whole we need to defund the police, but not too much. I feel like it's not so much defunding them; it's more trying to make sure they're actually well trained.
We're getting a lot of that when it comes to people saying, okay, hey, they're almost in so many words saying more funding for better training.
Yeah. I don't think it's so
would
much
you? Yeah. What do you think?
Us defunding the police isn't going to do anything. It's not going to fix the issue. If anything, it might make it worse, because at this point, say we just decide to pay them less money because it's so much trouble and problems, it's going to cause so much more issues, because police officers would stop working possibly, because they'd be like, oh, we're not getting paid this much, and we're literally putting our lives on the lines in certain situations.
For sure. There's communities that are incredibly dangerous to police. Yeah.
So I honestly think it shouldn't be defunding the police. I think it should be more we need to train them properly more.
Yeah.
What made them want to defund the police?
Right. So the defund the police movement was actually largely pushed by the Black Lives Matter movement. That was a big message on the BLM movement, was defund the police. Black Lives Matter Los Angeles chapter was calling for a 90% reduction in the LAPD's budget. Did you guys support BLM?
I mean, we're black. Yes.
You have to. I mean, there's black people that don't support BLM.
Oh.
They have a different social agenda, I feel like, that is they keep under wraps, and it's more for the money and not so much for Black Lives Matter.
Well, I got to look at just the crime rates across the country, right? I mean, and we have. It even goes beyond defunding the police. It goes to the prosecutions and the progressive DAs that literally let just very dangerous people go free, who then go out and commit more crimes. And so it's just this vicious cycle that we're caught in, because it's all being done underneath this veneer of social justice, and you can't question it or else you're racist. And it's well, there's a lot of people out here that are committing crimes and probably shouldn't just be given little bail or no bail or anything like that.
Money can't be raised to put towards that, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there's so much money to go around that you shouldn't have to cut funds from the police department. Also, the police department should maybe work on their academy, because obviously there were wrongs doing in the police system. So that's
maybe more training or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe we should
Not
fund
more,
the police a little bit more so that they can train them a little bit better.
Yes.
When it comes to the communities that are affected the most, too, it's very clearly minority communities that are affected the most by under-policing, etc.
The minorities want the police. Like, they might want them better trained, which, okay, we can take a look at that, and that's never a bad thing. But you're right. The people who suffer the most, it's not the ritzy-ditzy liberals that...
They're going to get on the phone and make sure that there's police patrolling their neighborhoods. The ritzy-ditsies.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a new word or anything.
We just made it up right now. All right, you guys, it's getting a little bit dark, so we're going to wrap things up. Let me know what you guys thought about people's responses in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that bell notification button so you're notified next time I post. We'll see you next time. It's a basket bun.
He's a bunny in a basket.
He's a bunny in a basket.